I want to talk a little bit about Change.org, a couple petitions that I have recently received to sign as far as the transgender prisoners demand Federal Bureau of Prisons recognize transgender prisoners. I just posted it to my Facebook page. I'm trying to actually find it so I can read it before we start talking, because this is something that's really serious to me and to a lot of people that are incarcerated in the United States right now. And the backlash that's about to have a domino effect on the transgender community, and the things that are going to come out from this are going to eventually, hopefully, lead to a positive result. Alright, so under this current Federal Bureau of Prisons policy program statement P6031.01, inmates who have undergone treatment for gender identity disorder. Well, they're wrong. It's gender dysphoria. I tried saying that in the prison that I was at, and they told me I was gender dysphoric, not gender identity disorder. Will be maintained only at the level of change which existed when they were incarcerated in the Bureau, meaning unless the person's already been diagnosed and begun hormones, prison medical workers are not required to offer them any medical attention. And this is actually a true statement. I started my transition in the Department of Corrections in the state of Virginia, and for me it was very difficult for me to even force myself to come to the place that I felt comfortable in the penitentiary at that, to say I was transgender, to try to obtain the resources, which there were none whatsoever. I had no resources. The only thing I had was my thoughts and what I knew. So I reached out personally, and I made relationships with people based on respect first, before I even felt confident enough to explain, I mean, even sitting here thinking about it and putting myself back in that moment is really difficult for me, because unless you're transgender, you really won't fully understand the feeling of dysphoria. So I found out today that Chelsea Manning is going to be released on May 17th, I believe is the day. And, why not treat the chemical imbalance, especially if you're somewhere where you're trying to reduce the risk of recidivism, but people don't take you seriously if you're an inmate. People do not take you seriously if you've broke the law. But the sad part is that people break our laws every day. Good people breaking the laws all the time, don't even realize it, and until you do it, and if you're not liked or people condemn you, then all these old laws they find and try to keep you in a prison. And I'm so glad that I got out. So now we have cases where there are a bunch of transgender people that are still stuck in the prison systems, that don't have a voice, that don't have a platform. So what are we going to do? We have to help those people. People should be able to receive the treatment that they want to receive. If there's enough of them in the penitentiaries across the United States, why can't we just make a penitentiary to put these people to get the treatment that they need? Regardless, just so that they can live the rest of their lives and be happy. And statutes. That's a good question. Laws or statutes? That's a good question. Most people don't know the difference between the two. But the current state of medical, provisions allow the diagnosis of mental disorders while incarcerated, and also medical attention for diabetes, people with HIV. This is no different. This isn't any different than that. Transgender is no different than diabetes or HIV. But under current guidelines, the Federal Bureau of Prisons singles out transgender inmates as an excluded from proper medical treatment, which that to me is against the law. My doctor, Dr. Travis Lee, he was down there, I guess maybe an angel that was put right there for me to go to, and he helped me. He really did. He helped me a lot. And regardless that the prison gave him a hard time because he administered HRT to me, he still continued to administer the testosterone blockers that he didn't have to do. And now he has a practice in Virginia Beach. And he has this cream or this lotion now that we can rub on our skin. I haven't really studied that yet, but I'd like to go down there and see him and actually talk to him and let him see my transition and let him, meet the woman that I've become through the course of the past 2 years and everything that's happened to me as far as getting set up for the same exact kind of discrimination that he told me I was prepared for. He was the only one that was honest. He's still a very good man, and he's still my friend on Facebook. Exactly. So now I got another petition coming from Texas, which is a state where it's really, really difficult to... Let me see. Texas is a state that's very difficult for people to get on HRT as well. And if y'all just give me a second to find it, because I don't like to talk about nothing but facts. I just know that this is going to create so much stuff within our community. People are going to just blame, oh, they changed so that they can be, come home and they don't have to escape. That's not what we wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted when I was going through this. I wanted to be authentic before I came home. It wasn't to avoid my crimes. It wasn't to make an excuse up for my behavior. It was to get the right medicine in my mind to treat my disorder, which was dysphoria, which is the opposite of euphoria, which most people proclaim that they walk around in anyways, which to me is a joke. So there was another petition trending, and this all stems from just who gives any of these people the right? I want to know, what gives any of these people the right to dictate who deserves treatment and who doesn't? I was in there and I watched a man die because he wasn't given the proper medical treatment that he deserved. And to me, that's wrong. That's terrible. That's someone's life, His family came to the penitentiary and everybody was told to be quiet, while the warden walked his family around. And, my phone, Tess, I love you. I got this, girl. So now, move a vulnerable transgender prisoner to a safekeeping unit. Nicole is a trans woman currently incarcerated in Texas men's prison where she's being sexually harassed, threatened, encouraged to fight for her life, and assaulted. She's been subjected to inhumane and degrading treatment by both prison staff and other inmates, and I am campaigning to have her moved to a P2 safekeeping unit where she will be able to serve her sentence without fear of sexual violence. What's the freaking problem with that? Move the girl so that she's not in fear. These guys are obviously scaring her, and the more you can sniff fear, the more the guys are going to come like a dog in heat with their noses right up our asses, and that's the way it was. Thank God I had somebody to protect me from that. It's bull, bull, bull. If I'm afraid, I'm going to let it be known as soon as I get into a jail As soon as I get in there, that look, this is what I've been going through, this is what I am, and it needs to be, y'all need to take care of me. That's why I went to the media. That's why I wanted to be known, because I didn't want nothing to happen. I didn't want nothing to happen and they just sweep it under the rug. That's what people do. People don't think that we're people. People don't think that we have connections. People don't think. That's why I was terrified. I thought I was going back for 5 years to have my head shaved, everything, for stealing a $2 beer, because when I came home from the penitentiary, I was set up for failure. All of the treatment that I had gotten and I had demanded while I was in there, I couldn't find it in my community. So I self-destructed. I felt like a joke, and the only place that I wanted to do was go back into the prison. What, recidivism? Yeah. Anyways, now Chelsea Manning. Look, y'all, I'm not going to keep y'all in handcuffs. I'm writing a book. It's done. The book's done. It's called Out of the Ashes, a Phoenix Emerges. A lot of my testimonies in that book, a lot of good information, a lot of the truth, a lot of the discrimination and the things that I went through that, I was discriminated against. Just because some man, judge, he had the authority to tell me that I wasn't who I said I was. But yet he didn't call me back into his courtroom to give me his answer. He sent me a letter in the mail. That's ridiculous. He could have called me back into the court and let me present as myself. No, he didn't. He didn't give me that respect. So I told my doctor, I called my probation officers, I reached out to everybody. I was heartbroken. I was devastated. My dreams shattered. Please go to my Kickstarter, y'all. It is actually posted on my wall on Facebook. All of y'all go on my wall, get my Kickstarter, y'all. Read about my project, read about my book, Out of the Ashes, a Phoenix Emerges, and it's done. I'm just waiting now, and please help me out. We have to support each other in this community. Allies, friends, all that alike. We need to be there for one another, because unless we make a stand, we're going to continue to keep getting our rights violated. People are going to continue to stay in prisons. Do you know how many people are in the prison system that I met that were like me? It's like just like a world of birds with broken wings. That's what it was. But I learned how to fly, and I stood there and I looked at those fences, and I knew I was going to soar high, because I'm never going back. Never. I have big dreams and plans to do things for this community that are so astronomically large, for a greater purpose. And no, not for myself. But see, I've gotten past the point where I don't care what nobody thinks about me anymore. The only person I care about what thinks about me is up there. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to get off here, but I love y'all very much. Check out my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Kickstarter. Check out my social media platform. Check out the related news links that I've done over the last year for the community. I've never received a dime to do anything that I do. I do everything out of the goodness of my heart. So, with that being said, somebody asked me, they said, Kendra, you're always wearing camo. Yeah, because I'm in a battle. I'm fighting constantly, and until this battle's done, until we all have a place of contentment and unity, and we have a common law for one nation, for at least transgender issues, just let us be who we are. I don't owe anyone on this planet an explanation for anything that I do. All I do is owe you love, because love will always conquer. So I'm very interested to see what happens with the Chelsea Manning. I'm glad that she's free. Do I think that, yes, I'm a firm believer in do the crime, pay the time. Yes. And I did. I've paid my time for my crimes. I've paid a little bit more. I've been paying for my crimes before I even committed them. So with that being said, y'all, your support really would mean a lot. Share my live video. Share my Kickstarters, my social media platform. Google me on Facebook. watch and look and see the advocacy that I've done and how much humility that I've endured just for our community, for these people, because there's so many more than people even realize. So many more transgender people, LGBT youth, incarcerated in the United States prison system because of their disease. It's like HIV, like diabetes. It's in us. It needs to be properly treated. It needs to be properly treated. And it's so hard because unless you are this way, nobody even cares unless they have a heart or empathy. So that's what we need to do. We need to let people see our hearts, not our parts. When that judge sent me a denial letter because of my genitalia, said I couldn't be me because I had a wiener, this is just, it just taught me so much. Just taught me so much about humanity. And while I was in the penitentiary, I don't know what happened out here, but people really lost a hold of their self. You know? Maybe I was better off. Maybe I was just better off in there. But, you know, the housing laws. When I got locked up and put in the county jail, after I had done the media interview, the officer said, "Do you have a dick? Can I just ask you, do you have a dick?" I said, "Do you? Because you are acting like a pussy." Yeah, well, they don't like it when you get rude back, so. But I exposed it, you know? Yeah, a wiener. A wiener. Do you have a wiener? Oh, I said, yeah, that I have a wiener. Yeah, that's what they said. I'm the judge. That's pretty much the way I took it. I mean, you can come back and apply for a name change once you get your your gender reassignment surgery. I never in my million years, I never in my life thought that would ever be a reason to tell somebody that they can't be who they said they are, especially if he would have paid attention and seen how much I did while I was in that penitentiary to become myself. He should have done his homework because he discriminated against me. He denied me my right for authenticity, another human being. So unless more of us are visible and active as advocates and activists in this community, you know, it's just like sweeping something under the rug, something that people don't want to talk about. But my whole thing is this: half the people that go around and they say that they're homosexual or bisexual or, you know, lesbian or whatever, those people really, they might just be transgender, because most of them are in relationships that to me appear pretty much man and woman. Oh, you're the girl in the relationship, or oh, you're the boy in the relationship. Anyways, think about it. Really, truly think about that. And then leave your comments and let me know, you know, because I'm very interested in seeing this. And especially now with the new presidency, a lot of people are angry with me for my beliefs, but I don't believe to hate in somebody I don't know. Because I can't hate nobody that's actions have never inflicted any kind of negative impact on my life or on my family or anybody that I love. That's just not who I am. I'm not fake. I'm real. You know, but people don't like real people because they envy them because they get to be who they are, but I wasn't always real either. It took me 30-some years to be real. So, with that being said, I'm going to get off here, but I love you all very much. I want you to really listen to what I'm saying, because it takes one person. That's all. Just one domino can make a whole bunch of dominoes fall down. Love you all very, very much.